Hobby Quick Hits. Delivering that breaking hobby news directly to your earlobes. You want to know those hot drops from the card shop? We've got you covered. With your host, John Newman.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to episode 177 of Hobby Quick Hits. Have one of our Legends of the Hobby series today. This week, it is Barry Halper. Little controversial subject and figure, but definitely a legend of the hobby. Part owner of the Yankees. At one point, probably had the best collection on the planet. Some of that, obviously a lot of it still exists now in other people's hands as Barry has passed on. But we're going to talk about the man, the collector, the entrepreneur on today's episode. And he's definitely an interesting character and has some importance to the hobby. And we're going to definitely deep dive and learn more about Barry Halper on today's episode.
Okay, now a quick word from our great sponsor, followed by the new product release schedule. Then we'll go around the Hobbyverse to tell you all the latest hobby happenings and news. Then we'll tackle today's topic of discussion.
Hi, this is Pat Hughes, Cubs announcer, coming to you from the Sports Card Shop in beautiful New Buffalo, Michigan. The Gocher family has built an incredible place here for collectors to buy, sell, and trade cards and memorabilia. Be sure to stop by and let them show you around. TheSportsCardShop.com, connecting sports, athletes, the hobby, and collectors around the world.
Hi, this is Alan Pinkett, and I'm here to tell you the Gocher family has done it again. They've just opened up the Sport Card Shop in downtown Valparaiso, Indiana, and it is awesome. If you're a collector, you need to check this place out. Tell them Alan sent you and get a free gift on your first visit.
All right, folks, you got me this week doing the new product release calendar. Let's start with April 24th. We've got 2024 Historic Autographs Prime Volume 2 Premium Staying on the Same Day. 2024 Onyx Vintage Collection Baseball Hobby. 23-24 Panini Origins Basketball H2. 23-24 Topps NBL Basketball. Also on the 24th, 2023, Upper Deck Skybox Metal Universe Champions. Going to the 25th, 2024, Keepsake Bruce Lee 50th Anniversary Collection. The following day, on April 26th, we have 2024 Leaf Metal Football. 2024 Sage Hit High Series Football. 2023 Topps Pristine Road to Euro 2024 Soccer. Also on the 26th, 2023 Wild Card 5-card draw Stacked Deck Football. Also on the 26th, Yu-Gi-Oh! Legacy of Destruction Blister Pack. Now let's head into May 1st, 2022-23 Marvel Annual. 23 Panini National Treasures Racing. 23-24 Panini Recon Basketball. 23-24 Upper Deck XPX Hockey. And a couple on the 3rd to close out the segment. 23-24 Panini Crown Royal Basketball. And 23-24 Panini Donruss Soccer. You know what's coming next. Choose your weapon. Happy ripping.
Let's go round the Hobbyverse and catch up on this week's hobby news.
And find out. All right, the big news story on this episode of Hobby Quick Hits. Collectors, parent company of PSA, has sold Golden Auctions to eBay. And in the same sort of transaction, PSA has acquired the eBay vault. So it looks almost like a trade with collectors giving eBay Golden and eBay giving PSA their vault, like a trade. Both teams have to pass a physical for the trade to go through. I'm just kidding there. Rumor has it that you can buy a card, or eventually, not at the moment probably, can buy a card off eBay and through it out after the purchase, have it go right to PSA for grading and encapsulation. So we'll see. Some of the details are a little fuzzy, but those are the main points of the transaction. So I'm sure more stuff is yet to come, more announcements yet to come. Panini has announced that they have signed Angel Reese of LSU, or formerly of LSU, to a multi-year autograph and memorabilia deal. And if that wasn't good enough for her, this happened.
Seventh pick in the 2024 WNBA draft, the Chicago Sky select Angel Reese.
Fanatics has announced their first live event that they are putting on. It will be taking place August 16th through the 18th. That's Friday, Saturday, and Sunday at the Javits Center in New York City. A 3-day event. It will feature athletes Derek Jeter, Tom Brady, Kevin Durant, the Manning quarterback brothers, Hulk Hogan, and more to be announced. Tickets for general admission are about $60 a piece for adults for each day, and about half of that for kids. And there are VIP tickets which will allow you early access, get into certain areas that the general admission won't, be able to watch some panels and interactive stuff as well. And I'm sure more details to come. So this is, the whispers are this will be like a sports Comic-Con, if you will, and more details I'm sure will come out as we get closer to the event time. It's odd sort of timing, a couple weeks after the conclusion of the National in Cleveland. I don't know how much of an effect that will or won't have. The Fanatics Fest is in New York City, which to me, I'm biased, my hometown, but it is a mecca. It's going to be a well-attended event and probably very successful. As for me, at this time, I do not have plans to attend, but we'll see. We'll see. There's some space between now and then. But if it was tomorrow, I would not be going. All right, this story I find pretty interesting on a few different levels. The Gretzky case, right? The 79-80 O-Pee-Chee hockey case that went for $3.72 million with buyer's premium on Heritage Auction. The buyer of that case, or part buyer of that case, I'll get to that in a minute, is Jack Arshawski out of Ontario, Canada. He's a real estate agent. He used some of his inheritance from his uncle, not a true and tried, self-admittedly not a diehard collector, owns a Gretzky rookie, but heard all the buzz about this case and decided to throw his hat in the arena, won it for the 3.72. Now he's sort of having second thoughts. And so this part I don't really get. He's paid $3 million of the 3.72 to Heritage. I kind of was under the assumption on the auction on the level of that, you have to have that money confirmed in your account to even bid. But so much, I guess, for that theory. He's told Heritage right now he wants to take a pause, keep it in their vault, and he's trying to move it to somebody else, and then he wants Heritage to ship it to them, the new buyer. He's reached out to Drake, Wayne Gretzky himself, the Edmonton Oilers owner, with no response. And so right now it's just kind of a pause. He owes $0.72 million to get the case in possession. So right now it's kind of a stalemate, and we'll see. He says he does not want to make a profit on the buy. He just wants someone to pay what he paid or bid on it. So we'll see how that goes. Something tells me that might change as well. But a little bit of a soap opera in the hobby world that I find kind of interesting. Maybe even more than you do. And I don't want to spend a lot of time on this next story. Not that it doesn't matter, but just for sake of time, and I think we're in the early innings of it. Kurt's Card Care. I don't like even saying that name on the air. That's my stance on people who do that, which is a card cleaning enhancement kit. He advertises, he's very public of what he does and what his products do. Again, I think most people know my take on that. Well, I guess, the Hobby Sleuths discovered a Jackie Robinson card that he cleaned and sent to PSA, and detective work was done, and PSA has deactivated that card from their registry. There may be some other cards. There's kind of conflicting stories of how much, all parts. But PSA sending a message back that if you clean or alter cards, that, they potentially, they can do that and will do that. Here's the other thing. I'll end on this note. I've heard people say that there's no way to detect these chemical agents that are in these kits like Kurt's and others that exist. And I don't buy that. As someone who loves forensics and watches all those shows, that doesn't make me an expert by any stretch of imagination, but a lot of things can be detected. And even with a blue light or a black light, we see many fluids and additives, blood, other things, bleach. That's how they know sometimes when people try to clean up crime scenes. So I don't believe that technology doesn't exist to not detect that. We've got technology that checks marrow from 1,000-year-old corpses and gleams information from it. So don't tell me they can't, if they want to, they can't detect chemical agents. And so I heard someone say that, and I kind of chuckled because most people, I think, obviously know that's false. So I guess we'll end the new segment there, and there you go.
And now, our feature presentation.
All right, today's subject of Legends of the Hobby, Mr. Barry Halper, was borderline controversial. We're going to talk about that, but no one can argue at the time when he was with us, he was one of the largest memorabilia collectors ever. And so let's learn about Barry Halper. Barry Halper was born in Newark, New Jersey on December 3rd, 1939, and frequented as a young boy the Newark Bears games, which were the AAA team of the Yankees. The stadium was very close to where he lived. As he grew up, he attended the University of Miami and then worked at his family's paper supply business until it closed in 1992. He became a limited partner of the Yankees and became close friends with George Steinbrenner, Joe DiMaggio, Mickey Mantle, Pete Rose, Don Manley, Tom Lasorda, and more, and started to really accumulate through them and helped by them some crazy memorabilia, and kind of made his basement into a museum in his house. And many players even came over to see his collection. His wife Sharon would cook for everybody when they came to visit, and he used those contacts and relationships as a way to acquire more memorabilia. His basement museum was called Cooperstown, the Cooperstown in New Jersey. He was very philanthropic, especially with the Burns Center at St. Barnabas in Jersey. No reason why he picked that, just he did, nothing personal there. One of his prized items was an uncut strip of T206s with a Wagner on it. His game used uniform collection was unrivaled. He had game used uniforms of Pud Galvin, Christy Masterson, Cap Anson, King Kong Kelly, Dan Brythers, Tinker Zebbers, and Chance, and multiple Joe Jackson jerseys. And in those cases with those uniforms, in many cases, some of them were the only ones known in existence. He also had Lou Gehrig's last baseball glove and his 1930 hat. He had Ty Cobb's 1928 Philadelphia A's jersey, which was autographed. He had a Mantle glove, which was eventually pried from him by comedian Billy Crystal. He owned Mickey Mantle's 1956 World Series ring. He owned 1920 sales agreement. This is an amazing piece. The 1920 sales agreement between the Yankees and the Red Sox, sending Ruth from the Red Sox to the Yankees. He had Ty Cobb's dentures and Christy Matherson's first minor league jersey. In 1998, Sotheby's auctioned off his collection for $21.8 million. Many of the purchases were actually made by Major League Baseball, who then gave the items to the Baseball Hall of Fame. So some of those items, if you go to Cooperstown, you might be looking at some of Barry Halper's personal collection. Sotheby's even produced a 3-volume book, quote, the Barry Halper collection of baseball memorabilia. All right, now on to the controversial part. Some of his items have been questioned as to their authenticities. Others were supposedly stolen from widows of players or family members. But some of those allegations came from questionable sources. To be exact, Peter Nash. For those that don't know, Peter Nash was one half of the rap group Third Base from New York City, who himself was arrested for memorabilia fraud and was convicted as well. So consider the source. Peter Nash was, most will tell you, very jealous of Barry Halper. So, Barry was never tried or convicted on any accusations, and so many have found them to be unfounded and untrue. But his collection is still out there today. As I said, some of it on display at the Hall of Fame in Cooperstown when Major League Baseball purchased a good portion of it through the Sotheby's auction. I think Major League Baseball was fearful that in a private sale someone would, maybe cut up the jersey for distribution into a card product, as we all know. That happens, and Major League Baseball wanted to preserve those uniforms. And many of those uniforms, like I mentioned, were the only ones known to exist. And, you can say what you want about MLB, but one thing they do care about is their history and trying to preserve it. So they did it there with the Sotheby's Halper sale. He died on December 18th of 2005 due to complications of diabetes, fairly young at age 66, but will be remembered mostly fondly in the hobby for his collection, which, as I said, lives on to this day in various forms.
All right, thank you for listening to another episode of Hobby Quick Hits. Want to give out our social media, starting with our website, which is www.sportscardnationpodcast.com. Facebook, you can follow us at www.facebook.com/sportscardnationpodcast/. Twitter, we are at sportscardnat1, so it's sportscard NATI1. Instagram at Sports Card Nation Podcast, or you can email the show hobbyquickhits@gmail.com. Again, thanks for listening. We'll see you next week.